Darth Vader's true identity was a closely guarded secret, and only a handful of people knew he was really Anakin Skywalker. The Jedi Knight was a celebrated hero of the Clone Wars, and the galaxy was led to believe that he was killed during Order 66, along with the rest of the Jedi. Darth Vader was seen as a mysterious and enigmatic force, a powerful being who suddenly burst onto the scene as the Emperor's enforcer. There were countless rumors about Darth Vader's identity. Some believed he was a counterpart to the Confederacy's General Grievous, held in reserve by Palpatine in case the Jedi betrayed him. Others considered him to be an artificial monster created in a laboratory. The secret was kept even after the events of Return of the Jedi, with Luke sharing the knowledge only with his immediate family: Han, Leia, C-3PO, and R2-D2. They kept it to themselves, although some of Leia's more observant political allies, such as Mon Mothma, became suspicious. Eventually, the truth exploded into the open when Leia attempted to run for the first senator of the New Republic, which destroyed her political career and shook her son Ben Solo, who had never been told of his relation to the deceased Sith Lord. As closely guarded secret as this may have been for decades, there were a handful of people who knew that Darth Vader was indeed the former Jedi Anakin Skywalker. Here are all of the characters confirmed to know the truth about who Vader was. It was Palpatine that led Anakin Skywalker to the dark side and gave him the name Darth Vader. The Emperor always knew the truth, and he seems to have been the one who decided it should remain a closely guarded secret. It's possible Mas Amedda was on the loop, but that hasn't been confirmed. Obi-Wan Kenobi was well aware that his former apprentice had turned to the dark side, taking on the name of Darth Vader before slaughtering countless Jedi before their duel on Mustafar. However, it wasn't until 10 years later that Obi-Wan learned that Anakin had survived his defeat on Mustafar, going on to become the machination that was Darth Vader, serving as the Emperor's fist as he traveled to planets, putting down any signs of rebellion and massacring any remaining Jedi who had survived the initial purge. Obi-Wan first gained the knowledge when the third sister taunted him during an encounter on Daiyu. In The Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader revealed the shocking truth to Luke, that he was really Anakin Skywalker, Luke's father. It wasn't until Return of the Jedi that Luke told Leia, but interestingly, her focus appears to have been more on the fact that Luke was her brother than Darth Vader was her father. Leia later reflected on how uncomfortable that she felt with being the daughter of Darth Vader. She had encountered the Dark Lord of the Sith a handful of times during her political career, but her abiding memory of Vader was as her torturer on the Death Star. Leia seems to have also told Han Solo the full story pretty quickly, and it's reasonable to assume Han told Chewbacca in return, but there's actually no evidence for this. Unlike C-3PO, R2-D2 never had a memory wipe. Instead, the droid appears to have kept his own counsel, perhaps wary of interfering too much in Luke's personal journey. C-3PO lost those memories, but he remained with Han and Leia's family after the Battle of Endor, so it can be reasonably assumed that he learned the truth by eavesdropping. Fortunately, while the protocol droid is hardly discreet, he wouldn't have seen the need to tell anyone else unless it came up in the conversation. C-3PO's memories were also completely restored by R2-D2 in The Rise of Skywalker, so if he was unaware before that, he definitely knows the truth about Vader by the end of the saga. Master Yoda knew that Darth Vader was once Anakin Skywalker, the boy he had sensed too much fear into train way back when Qui-Gon brought him to the temple. For many years, it's been assumed Master Yoda was aware from the day Vader gained his cybernetic enhancements and signature Whis. However, since it's been revealed that Obi-Wan didn't learn Anakin survived for a full 10 years, it's no longer a guarantee Yoda knew for the entirety of time between the fall of the Jedi and when Yoda first appears in The Empire Strikes Back to train Luke. Bail Organa was present during the climactic end of the Republic, and there can be no doubt he was aware of Darth Vader's true identity. That makes Bail particularly impressive because he remained politically active, and any ill-judged reaction, or even stray thought, could have told Palpatine or Vader he knew more than he was letting on. Worse still, Bail had a lot to lose if he was found out, because a close look at his affairs could well have led Vader to realize the orphan in Bail's care was actually his own daughter, Leia. Anakin Skywalker's Padawan during the Clone Wars, Ahsoka was one of the few survivors of Order 66, and she became a key agent of the Rebel Alliance in the years before the Battle of Yavin. Ahsoka learned the truth about Darth Vader in the second season of Star Wars Rebels, first when she connects with her former master through the Force during a dogfight, and later when she confronts the Sith Lord on Malachor. To her horror, she realized she would never be able to reach Anakin, and so instead engaged him in what should have been a duel to the death. Ahsoka was rescued by Ezra Bridger using the World Between Worlds, and her actions from that point on are something of a mystery. She clearly never told the Rebel Alliance what she had learned, although she may well have discussed it privately with Bail Organa. It is strongly suggested that Maul had figured out Anakin Skywalker's fate. He had deduced Darth Sidious's plans, figuring out the Emperor's goal was to seduce Anakin Skywalker to the dark side, and consequently he would have immediately guessed who this mysterious Sith Lord really was. Tarkin had worked with Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars, and he found the Dark Lord of the Sith eerily familiar, even recognizing some of his tactics. While Vader's face and voice made it nearly impossible to recognize his identity, Tarkin felt like Vader already had a familiarity with him, meaning he may have been someone Tarkin was already well acquainted with. While he never confirmed it outright, Tarkin had a brilliant tactical mind and recognized Anakin's technique with a lightsaber, his military strategy, and his interaction with the stormtroopers under his command. But Tarkin knew better than to voice his suspicions. Grand Admiral Thrawn had encountered Anakin Skywalker while on reconnaissance missions during the Clone Wars. In fact, it was Thrawn's name-dropping Anakin that initially persuaded Palpatine to allow the Chiss into his presence in the first place. A strategic genius, if not a political one, Thrawn swiftly deduced Darth Vader was in fact Anakin Skywalker. He too had the wisdom to keep quiet about the knowledge, although he did indicate his suspicions to Vader. Jocasta Nu was one of the few survivors of Order 66 to figure out the truth about Anakin Skywalker, having learned this when a medical droid scanned the Sith Lord. She attempted to use this knowledge to cause discord in Imperial forces, revealing it to a group of stormtroopers, who had arrested her, but Darth Vader killed them all in order to preserve his secret. He then cut Jocasta Nu down for good measure. Farron Barr was a Jedi Padawan who served in the Clone Wars and managed to survive Order 66. He fled to the aquatic planet of Mon Cala and spent months attempting to learn the truth about the fall of the Jedi Order. A slicer he hired managed to access security recordings from the Jedi Temple, and Farron Barr was shocked to learn that Anakin Skywalker had slain the younglings. Farron Barr trained a group of Force sensitives on Mon Cala, but his band was attacked by Darth Vader. Barr did not survive his encounter with the Dark Lord of the Sith. Verla was the only one of Farron Barr's disciples to survive Darth Vader's attack on Mon Cala, and she spent a lifetime on the run before eventually meeting Luke Skywalker. Their encounter was shortly after The Empire Strikes Back, and Verla used a dark-side mind probe to learn Luke was Vader's son. She attempted to kill him in an act of vengeance, but fortunately R2 intervened. Verla asked Luke never to approach her again, and presumably continued to live as a hermit hiding from the galaxy. During the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, we learned that Reva, the third sister, is fully aware Darth Vader was once Anakin Skywalker. She was a youngling in the Jedi Temple when Anakin attacked with the 501st, although she was able to survive a lightsaber stab to the gut. Seeking revenge for herself and her fellow younglings, she became an Inquisitor to now Darth Vader in an attempt to kill the Dark Lord, although her attempt failed and she was left on her own to survive. Let me know what other characters may have known about Darth Vader's true identity in the comments below. Remember to like the video, and subscribe for more lore deep dives like this, as well as reviews, breakdowns, news reports, and more. As always, thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.